So, you've got this amazing, beautiful 4K TV, but you're still using the speakers that came with it? Look, you're only getting half the experience. Today, we are going to fix that. We're unlocking the secret to that awesome cinematic sound right in your own living room. We'll cut through all the tech speak and give you a super clear guide to choosing the perfect soundbar, so your audio finally sounds as good as the picture looks.
Does this sound familiar? You sit down for movie night. The picture is absolutely breathtaking, but the sound, it just feels flat, kind of weak, and totally disconnected from all the action on screen. You are not alone. That's a super common problem. But thankfully, the solution is way simpler and honestly, way more impressive than you might think.
All right, so here's the game plan. First, we'll talk about why your TV's sound is falling so short in the first place. Then, we're going to decode all that technical jargon, all those numbers and letters. After that, we'll cover getting it connected, explore the absolute magic of 3D audio, and then wrap it all up with a practical checklist to help you make the perfect choice. Ready? Let's do it. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of the problem. You see, in the race to make TVs impossibly thin and sleek, something had to give. And unfortunately, that something was the sound. It's created this huge mismatch in our living rooms. I mean, think about it. As those TV frames got thinner and thinner, where were they going to put decent speakers? There's just no physical room left. So those tiny little drivers, which are usually pointing down or even backwards, they just can't move enough air to create that rich, full sound that makes a movie feel, well, like a movie. This is exactly why a soundbar isn't just some popular upgrade. For a real home theater feel, it's pretty much essential. All right, this is usually the part where people's eyes start to glaze over. All the numbers, the terminology, it can feel a little intimidating. But don't worry, I promise we're going to make this crystal clear. Let's break down the features that actually matter. First up, let's talk about the subwoofer. This is your bass machine. This is the speaker that gives you that satisfying rumble during an action scene, the punch in the chest. It adds that deep resonance to the movie score that you can feel. Some soundbars have one built in, but most come with a separate wireless box you can stick anywhere in the room, and that makes a huge difference. Now for those numbers. When you see 2.1, it's actually really simple. The 2 just means 2 channels, a left speaker and a right speaker. That creates a nice wide stereo sound. And the 0.1, well, that's your subwoofer. See? Easy. And even this basic setup is a massive, massive leap forward from your TV's audio. Now, when you move up to a 5.1 system, this is where you step into true surround sound. You still have your front left and right, but now you add 2 rear speakers for all those cool ambient effects. But you know what the real hero here is? That new dedicated center channel. Its main job is handling dialogue, making sure every word is perfectly crisp and clear. You can finally stop asking your partner, wait, what did they just say? And then you see this, a third number, a 5.1.2. What is that last 0.2 all about? Well, that is the game changer. It means there are 2 speakers dedicated to creating a sense of height. This is the secret sauce that powers that immersive, 3-dimensional sound we're going to talk about right now. Okay, so you've got the channels figured out, but a soundbar is no good if you can't hook it up. The good news is this part is usually super simple. Let's just take a quick look at the main options you'll find on the back. The absolute gold standard right now is something called HDMI ARC. It's got the most bandwidth, which is what you need for the highest quality uncompressed audio. That means you're hearing everything exactly as the filmmakers intended. Now, most modern TVs have at least HDMI ARC, which is still fantastic. And hey, if you've got an older TV, the optical connection is a totally reliable option too. But honestly, the real magic of using an HDMI connection is a feature called CEC. It's what lets your regular TV remote control the soundbar's power and volume automatically. It sounds like a small thing, but trust me, getting rid of that extra remote on your coffee table, it's a huge quality of life win. We hinted at it with those 0.2 channels, and now it's time for the main event. We're talking about that immersive 3D sound that literally puts you right in the middle of all the action. This is the really cool stuff. So how in the world does a bar sitting under your TV make it sound like a helicopter is flying over your head? Well, it's a really clever trick of physics. The soundbar has special speakers that are angled upwards. They literally bounce the sound off your ceiling and back down to where you're sitting, creating this virtual dome of sound all around you. It's awesome. Now, the 2 big names you're going to see everywhere are Dolby Atmos and DTSX. When you're deciding what to buy, what really matters is the content. Dolby Atmos is by far the most common. You'll find it on pretty much every big streaming service, Netflix, Disney+, you name it. DTS:X is just as amazing, but you tend to find it more on physical discs, like 4K Blu-rays. The great news? Most new soundbars that can do one can usually do both.
Okay, we have covered a ton of tech. Now, let's bring it all back home and talk about how you actually make that final call. Let's get practical. You can find a soundbar at just about any price, really. And while those high-end models over $600 are incredible, don't sleep on the mid-range. That $200 to $600 sweet spot is where you can get some fantastic features and really powerful immersive sound. For most people, that's a huge upgrade.
And here it is, your final checklist. First, think about placement. Measure the space under your TV. Make sure the bar won't block the screen or, really importantly, the little remote sensor on your TV. Next, be honest about what you'll use it for. Is it just for clearer dialogue, or are you a movie fanatic who wants that full immersive experience? Then, double-check your TV for that crucial HDMI ARC or eARC port. And finally, if you possibly can, go listen to a few models in a store. At the end of the day, your own ears are the best judge.
Seriously, upgrading your TV's audio is one of the single biggest improvements you can make to your whole home entertainment setup. It isn't just about making things louder. It's about adding clarity, depth, and emotion to everything you watch. So the only real question left is, are you ready to finally hear what you've been missing?